I think also I've just learnt a lot from the managers around me, like learning from them, because I've come into a role where I've never actually seen someone do that role. So I never thought I'd be working in QHSE. I came through at a time where we didn't have a QHSE manager, so I never sort of followed someone and saw how they did it. So I just had to kind of find my way to do it. And just, I think, with the management team at Sarah, there's different parts of different people's leadership style that I can call upon for how I want to manage. So it's just been a long learning journey that will keep going.
Definitely. What about you?
Yeah, I think I've found the leadership at Sarah's very open, very approachable, and that's been a really, fantastic thing. So you feel able to talk about pretty much most things and seek advice when you need to. So it's just a really supportive environment.
That is Melisha and Dena. Melisha Willington's career in construction spans 20 years, starting her early days in residential to managing a diverse range of commercial projects from fit-out and refurbishment, civil, landscaping and new builds. Collaboration is her go-to style on projects, and she's been developing an interest in sustainability in recent years, as well as enjoying mountain biking outside of work. Melisha is joined by Dena English, the Group Executive of Quality, Health, Safety and Environmental and Sustainability at Sarah. She has 15 years experience in construction and an engineering background and is currently studying law. She manages safety, quality, environmental and sustainability across the Sarah Group, encouraging continuous improvement to support business growth and efficiency. Welcome to ConstructHER, the video podcast series where we shine a spotlight on the remarkable women in the building and construction industry.
At Toyota, we believe in never standing still. We've always got our eyes on the road ahead. That's why we're creating innovations for a more sustainable future, connecting you to your car to make life easier, reimagining our cities and how we live in them, challenging the standards so that everyone can be safe, and making a difference in our communities, because it's in our nature to never stand still. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Dena, can you just tell us a little bit about your role and what you do at Sarah's?
I'm the Group Executive for QHSE and Sustainability. So I've been at Sarah for now almost 9 years. And so I manage all things safety, QA, environmental and sustainability across the group.
And so when you say the group, that's?
Sarah Constructions, Sarah Build, Sarah Group Holdings and HiViZ Plumbing I'm involved in now as well.
Fantastic, thank you. And Mel, what's your role at Sarah's?
I've been a project manager for a while, so 7 years with Sarah Constructions and in the delivery, managing delivery of commercial projects with them.
And Sarah's have won so many awards through the Building Excellence Awards. And now, Mel, you were our inaugural first ever HiViZ Women in Construction Award winner. And what year were you, Dena? You won as well?
I can't remember what year it was.
Oh,
it would
gosh.
have been 2 years ago.
Was it 2020 or 2021? I always get confused. Has everyone lost a year because of COVID?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. I feel 2 years.
I think 2020.
20.
No, 2021. Yes, 2021. Because then we had Anna, then we had Tegan.
That's
and
right,
here we are. Yes.
3. We've only been doing HiViZ Women in Construction Award for
2018.
2018.
So.
And 3 of them are from Sarah's. So what do you think Sarah's company culture that helps? Talk to me.
It's a big question. I think it's definitely very supportive. It's been very supportive of me in my career. Like I feel like in my 9 years there, I've come a long way and gone down a path that I didn't think I would go down. So I think it's quite open with opportunities. But also, and perhaps you could talk more to it, Mel, I think we attract good females to the business as well.
I think for me, Sarah's, I'd actually heard about Adrian Esplin, who is CEO. I'd heard about him in the industry, hadn't met him, but that sort of piqued my interest to find out more about Sarah's. And obviously made those calls and then eventually ended up working there. But I found that, their values, I guess, aligned with my own in terms of, building relationships.
I've got to ask, you said I've gone down a different path than I thought was going to, Dena. What was your original path?
I studied civil and structural engineering. So I originally, I didn't think I would work in construction. I had no idea about construction when I was studying. And then through my older sister worked for a civil construction company, and that's how I got into civil, and it just opened up this whole world of construction to me. And then even once I was in construction, I thought I wanted to go down the project management, down that line. But even in that, I found that wasn't where I wanted to head. And now because of my interest in safety and QA, I've ended up down this path instead. But I've found, it's where I want to be. I found something I'm good at and I enjoy it. So, but back when I was studying, had you asked me back then what I thought I'd be doing now, it would not at all be where I am now.
Yeah. And what did you study at university, Mel?
I actually did a design architecture degree. I kind of fell into construction as well. When I came out of uni, it was a time of recession actually, so there weren't a lot of jobs in design at that time. And so I ended up working for a residential builder and doing selections and sort of then starting to work in residential projects. So I worked in residential for about 5 years, gained a lot of experience working on contracts and dealing with people and clients, quite emotional in residential.
Oh gosh, yeah.
More so than commercial. And then I realised, I wanted to do a big overseas trip, but I sort of coordinated that with moving into commercial. That's been probably the last 15 years, and I've really enjoyed the commercial space and just learnt so much along the way.
And obviously we're talking about construction, but both of you, I'm assuming, do manage teams? Yeah.
Yes.
So what size is your team, Dena?
I manage a team that's based in head office, so there's 6 of us there. And then I also manage our safety officers on site, which is around the 20 or so safety officers on site as well. So a real range of different personalities in amongst that group.
And I'm sure there's a lot of age range in that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think the youngest would be probably the graduate that I've got in my immediate team at the moment, through to some that are now having the discussions about the transition into retirement. So yeah, huge spectrum, and it's been a learning curve for how to manage the different types of people.
Yeah. And what about you, Mel? Because obviously working on site, that's a dynamic team.
It is, generally. At the moment I've got a smaller team, but it does fluctuate, I guess, with the size of the project and whether you're on multiple projects and you're managing multiple on-site teams as well. So yeah, it's usually quite close-knit. You're in the thick of it, working through problems every day. So yeah, there's usually quite a lot of bonding that goes on with delivering projects on site in the thick of it. So I do enjoy that aspect, and also working with different personalities. Each team, or each project, you've got a different team. You've usually got different consultants and clients. So you're always working with different people, which I enjoy as well. Yeah.
And what have you done to help you manage staff? Have you done leadership training through Sarah Constructions, management training? What have you done to learn those skills? Because the things that sometimes can be neglected, if that makes sense. Sometimes you your focus is all on your technical knowledges and things like that, but
the softer skills.
The softer skills are key. So what have you done to help?
Yeah, I think Sarah's have been pretty good in supporting their staff in that way. They still do have a leadership program, which I believe you've been involved in.
I have.
Yeah, I was quite a few years ago now as well.
Yep.
So
the leadership program was really good. It's been going a number of years now. I would have done it at least 5 years ago. Yeah. But it starts off all about managing yourself before you can manage other people. So it's all even managing your own health and well-being to then manage a team and manage conflict and difficult conversations and all of that. So that certainly helps. But I think also I've just learnt a lot from the managers around me, learning from them, because I've come into a role where I've never actually seen someone do that role. So I never thought I'd be working in QHSE. I came through at a time where we didn't have a QHSE manager, so I never sort of followed someone and saw how they did it. So I just had to kind of find my way to do it. And just, I think with the management team at Sarah, there's different parts of different people's leadership style that I can like that I can call upon for how I want to manage. So it's just been a long learning journey that will keep going.
Definitely. What about you?
Yeah, I think I've found the leadership at Sarah's very open, very approachable, and that's been a really, fantastic thing. So yeah, you feel able to talk about pretty much most things and seek advice when you need to. So it's just a really, supportive environment in that regard.
And it's really interesting because you mentioned sustainability as part of your role. Recently, I just heard Sarah's talk about all their innovation that they're doing as well. For a family-owned, SA-based company, they are, even just talking about a leadership program today, there really is something different about Sarah's. So do you want to tell us a little about the innovation and sustainability projects that Sarah's got underway? Who wants to go first?
Perhaps I'll touch on that because one of the, innovations or projects that we did sustainability-based was a solar energy pod, and that actually came out of some work I did through the leadership program probably 5-6 years ago now. So Sarah's, supported that idea and funded it essentially, which was really an on-site solar pod, about 36 panels, I think, which was fully transportable within a site container. So once it was set up on site, it would supplement, site office energy consumption, but then also act as a storage facility on site, which is a pretty usual thing to have site containers on site to store. So it sort of served that dual purpose and was fully transportable. So we've got ideas to expand on that idea and looking into other innovations as well. So it's all a work in progress. Yeah.
I like the dual. The dual use is pretty good, isn't it? So fantastic. And what about you, Dena?
Yeah, I think in the last few years we've had a lot of things that we've started to work on we've got innovation committee, we've got the sustainability committee, we've got on the RAP journey, we've now got the DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI committee as well. So there's a lot sort of going on in the background as well as obviously the day-to-day business, but it's really exciting to be part of. And so with innovation, there's a big piece now about how do we use data going forward. So that's obviously hot topic and how do we best use that. And even like personally, I'm interested to see what happens in that innovation space around how does that help us with safety as well.
Yeah.
And obviously this is in quality assurance as well, but I think there's so much that we could do to improve there. And sustainability, we've had the committee for a little while now. We're starting to look to get climate active certification, which we're on a bit of a journey there as well. So we're trying to get that across the group. So we're almost there. And with DEI, that's early days with our DEI committee, but it's exciting to see where that'll go, because that's looking to not just females in the business, but other areas of how can we make the business more inclusive. From a starting point, really trying to look inwards of what matters to the business and not jumping on what's like topical at the moment, but what would make a difference to our staff at the moment to make it more inclusive for them.
Yeah. And it sounds like obviously you've got good tenure at Sarah's, and when you sometimes do talk to a lot of the staff, they do have that long tenure, which does give testament of looking at the staff first and what they need and their requirements as well. We just prior to starting the podcast, we were just talking to say, I know that there's great female representation at Sarah's, and we found out that it was just 18%, just short of 18%. So that's good, because that's different, and you can't be what you can't see. So that is good to see. You spoke about leadership and the openness of the management at Sarah's, but is there anybody particular that's been a really good mentor that's really helped you in your career journey? We're allowed to shout out, it's okay.
I might jump in.
Yeah, go for it.
I think initially I'd probably, in terms of mentors, I haven't really had anyone specific, even though I probably would have liked to, it just hasn't happened that way. But in terms of shout outs, I'd probably mention Alex Cook. So when I moved from residential into commercial, Alex sort of gave me my first opportunity, if you like, in commercial, and just, had a belief in me. So I think without that kind of happening, that really was a pivotal point in my career. And then, as I mentioned before, I had heard of Adrian Esplin, so he really was the reason why I looked into Sarah's. And he has been super supportive. So from day one of starting at Sarah's, putting me up for awards and things, I've just never felt so much support as I did with Sarah's in that regard. So, and I've just found him always really approachable, really genuine. And John Anderson too, who's been my manager for a number of years now, just really easy to talk to. So just having those good relationships, it's what they promote, and actually they walk the talk the walk, whatever, walk the talk. So that's really refreshing. Yeah.
Good stuff. And what about you, Dena?
Yeah, Adrian's another one of my, that I would call a mentor, I guess. Same as you, I've never really had a actual mentor, no actual formal mentoring relationships or anything like that. But yeah, Adrian, because I worked with him back at Multiplex where I did my grad program. So my first interview for a job in commercial construction was with Adrian, and that was, I don't know, a long time ago. I won't even try and do the maths. It was a while ago now. So Adrian would be one, and then also Steve Blackmore as well. So he was the site manager on the first job I was on with Multiplex, and now he's at Sarah as well. So I've learned a lot from him from the technical side, but also just on I don't know how to articulate this, but he's just someone who totally speaks his mind, and just he's got a lot of, if he thinks, I don't know how to articulate this without swearing. It's okay, you're allowed to swear. It's an 18 I think it's just that he doesn't give a fuck about what other people think. If he knows something's right, he'll fight to make it right.
I think that's just being that's just having integrity, isn't it? Really, of just like sticking to your values, and you're not prepared to sway on them, and not be scared to voice something that doesn't sit right with you.
Yeah, and I think it gives me that confidence to do that as well, because I feel like I do see eye to eye with him a lot of the time. So I know that if I go into battle, that chances are I'd have him to back me up if I had to. It's always good to have him. And then I think Adrian's a very different mentor in a different sense.
Yeah. But I think that's where it comes down to, and I'm getting that impression from talking to you both, that working for an employer that aligns with your values is really key, and that's, by doing that, you will naturally thrive in that environment.
Yeah. And just a point I'll make, it's disappointing that we both can't mention, or we can't think of female mentors that we've had, or we don't have those strong figures at this point, but hopefully we can be that for other people as they come through, because I think it's hard to think of this, we're talking about this at some other point, that you can think of other people in the industry that you might admire or look up to, but you don't, because there are very few women, especially in sort of management positions. You don't often have the opportunity to work with them. We might cross paths at different networking events, but just given the lack of numbers in those management positions, you don't always have a sort of a mentor or someone to look to in that management space. So
I'd probably add as well, just values alignment. I think that is such a super important thing these days with what employers are actually looking for in companies. It's, I think, even more paramount now for people to have that social side, or values aligning. It's not just about the work and the money anymore. It's about having that alignment with your own personal values.
100%. And I'll just go back to the mentoring, because obviously HiViZ has a mentoring program, and it's been interesting that because it's a national program, not just an SA-based program, quite often you can be matched with somebody who's in either a higher role or where you aspire to be, interstate. And with the world's changed now, Zoom and MS Teams is just there. Sometimes at the amount of times I'm going to a face-to-face meeting, look down and think, oh, I was just about to leave the office as actually MS Teams. But have either of you been a mentor to others? Lots of frantic nods.
They haven't always been a great mentoring relationship. I think a lot of it depends on who you're matched with.
Correct.
So it can be amazing or sometimes it just doesn't work out. So it hasn't always worked out for me. But in saying that, I think we do a lot more informal mentoring. So like I have graduates rotating through our team. We've had 2 female graduates in our team over the last 12 months. So I think it helps for them to spend a bit of time with me, and also having a few other women in our team as well, to get a different perspective than what they get when they're out on site, and to build those relationships, to have someone that they can call upon if they need to, or just need a chat or whatever. So I think it's a bit more of those informal relationships that I tend to be part of. And that's something that also through our DEI committee, we have had these discussions around, do we do mentoring or sponsors and that sort of thing. And we're starting with more of informal networking in the business. So then you can see who you gravitate towards and who you might feel like you might get a better outcome if you do get to know a whole bunch of people and just work out who you relate to.
Naturally, how you naturally relate to people.
Yeah.
And what about you?
I did do a more formal mentoring. Sorry, get that out. That was probably about 15 years ago. So that was with a design architecture student. So I'd probably been out of uni 5 years and was a mentor for them. That was actually a younger male. Since then, it's been, like Dena said, more informal. So obviously in my role, I'll quite often have younger females that have just started within the business. So I've been mentors in a way through my role as a project manager. I have, I think, put my hand up before for mentoring, but it hasn't worked out for whatever reason. But it's something I would like to keep looking at. Probably if I'm doing study next year, it might be a bit hard, but definitely would like to give back a bit more in that space, because I think you as a mentor actually learn quite a bit just from that interaction. You're always learning things from other people. So it's very much a two-way street, I think, not just one way. So.
Yeah, and I'm testament to that. But this was my first year being a mentor on the national programme, and I was really surprised about the more formal support for mentors that I could access. Yeah, which, as you say, it's a two-way learning curve, not just one. So, what does the future hold for Mel and Dena? What future plan? You've just alluded to study. Yeah. So, what's the plans for the future?
Yeah, well, definitely trying to probably move my knowledge base or increase my knowledge and diversity on that, which is really into sustainability. I do have a passion for it. It has been hard sometimes to juggle with busy project work, so I'm sort of looking to try and balance that a bit more, and look at study next year, and maybe reduce some of my hours if I can to focus on that. But I think I'll always be in construction. I love the problem solving aspect. It's just a great industry because there's always continual learning, and I think that's an awesome thing, and the growth that comes from that, just to be, there's so much still to know. So I think I'll always be involved. I love the design architecture aspect. That's still a big passion of mine as well. So you combine all the built form, the design, the problem solving, the decision making. I love to. So all of those things always keep me motivated and going. Yeah.
Cool. And Dena?
Probably a very similar answer, but I'm on the other the other end of my study. So good luck, Mel.
Thank you.
I've got 1 year to go. Yeah, so I'm going into next year, my final year of my law degree. So 4 subjects to go, and I cannot wait till it's done. I'm 5.5 years in now. So
you've been studying part-time?
Yes. Yeah, so working full-time, studying part-time. So when you say cutting down your hours, I think that's a brilliant idea. It's a lot to juggle. So I'm almost at the end of that. I went into that without a real solid goal as to where that was going to take me, but I just like to continually learn and build my skill set. So I'll see where that takes me. It's helped me in what I do now. I don't necessarily want to go and practice law, but it will set me up for something in the future. We'll see where that takes me. But so very much the same as Mel. Like, I can't see myself working in anywhere other than construction. So we'll see how my role evolves from here. And I have just started a new role in August, so I'm not looking to anything new anytime soon. I'm still getting my head around that.
You do realise that you'll have a break from studying and you'll miss it and go back, which is things that gets a grip in your study.
I know myself, and I think right now I'm going, fuck that, never again.
I don't want to hear this, by the way.
No, I don't want to No. Right now I say never again, but I know myself. I'll give it a few years. I'll then be going, what's next? Maybe I'll go and do a master's or something. Who knows? I don't know, but I have to keep, like, I don't want to just get stagnant. I love to keep learning, and we'll see where it takes me.
Fantastic. Okay. So obviously, I don't want to say this, and you've got a few years under your belt working in construction.
A few more years for me.
And so what would you say to somebody who is considering building construction as an industry to get into as a career?
It's a big question. And I think there's a lot of misconception about what the industry is. So I would suggest that they talk to the right people, like master builders, not to just sit here and plug you guys, but talk to the right people to get a full, like, an understanding of what the industry is now, and not dismiss it based on, there might be some, old school opinions, or what what your parents might think, or older generations might think what the industry is. I think it's a very different place now. It's highly rewarding, it pays well. There's so much opportunity in it. I just think it's it's a fantastic career path for anyone.
Yeah, I sort of agree. I think there's some traditional perceptions around construction, and I think if they talk to people like yourself and the HiViZ network, they'll get a greater understanding of what roles are available, because it's so diverse, and pretty much any skill set or interest is probably covered in some role within construction, really. I think and there's obviously a lot of marketing that's come out now, and into high schools and secondary schools, where I guess those decisions are being made around that. And quite often it's parents that have a lot of influence on their children as well. So I think it's also, again, trying to educate people on the vast amount of roles. It's not just on site, there's so much more. And it's just a fantastic industry, as Dena said. It does pay well, and there's a great future. So.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Who would have thought, like 10 years ago, sustainability would be in a job role title? I know, exactly. Just even like a basic level. And we're talking about climate change and certification and innovation. We don't truly know what the next 10, 15, 20 years is actually going to look like.
Exactly. We were talking about that earlier, that it seems like construction's been a bit of a late adopter with some of these things, but the last few years it's sort of definitely got some momentum.
And there's some push that it needs to. We can't sort of delay now. So I think for the first time we'll probably see this evolution really move quite quickly, I think, in construction, because it has to, and things like circular economy, is just so paramount now. Yeah. So it's quite an exciting time, I think. Yeah,
definitely. 100%. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mel and Dena, and we'll give a shout out to Anna, who can't be here but was on site today. But thank you very much for coming on ConstructHER.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to find out more about master builders and becoming a member of the HiViZ community, then visit www.mbasa.com.au. But if you want to learn more about having a career in the industry, if you're a young person or looking to change your career, then look no further than the born2build.com.au website, where you'll be able to access information about all the different roles, what a day in the life looks like, and the potential salary options.